go, and then we'll just pause.
Sure, if you want. I was getting done. Ready?
All right, and good evening to all of you Columbus Lions fans out there. Welcome to the Columbus Civic Center. We are broadcasted live here on the Columbus Lions YouTube page and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Making its debut, I'm Richard Holdridge alongside Thrift Behringer. Wow, Thrift, 5-0 Columbus Lions already secured a spot in the AIFA championship game, and they're ready to take on the Capital City Cyclones.
It's going to be an excellent game, Richard, and I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. Undefeated, dominating fashion almost in every game. They were 80-8 last week. Previous week before that, it was 60-20. At one point in the first half, it was 40-something to nothing. Dominant performance, great players like Marcus Brooks, the defensive linemen that have just been an absolute dominant nightmare. DeAndre Brown, he's been unbelievable. Looking at Kenny Carter from Syracuse, he's also been unbelievable. Ken Washington, these guys have been unblockable, and they've been one of the main reasons why the Lions have been so dominant. Thank you so much, Richard, for having me a part of this. It's going to be a great broadcast. Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. We're on that Facebook page, of course, Columbus Lions. But without we even get started, I feel like we got to give some credit where credit is due. This doesn't happen without our guy, Toygar.
Our man Toygar, who's been my colleague, your colleague, for the past year and a half now. Toygar does it all, and he's done a great job. Also, I got to give a shout out to our statistician, Nick, up there, who gives us up-to-date stats. And it's in real time. We can actually go on the website and actually look up updated stats. And right now, you can hear in the background our public address announcer, Aiden, who does a great job as well, as he was the PA announcer for the Columbus Rapids, back for year 2 for the Columbus Lions. Part of the reason why the Columbus Lions have been so dominant, Thrift, they still have a lot of NAL players.
Yeah, not NAL players, which are good players, but these guys can play almost anywhere. And to be honest, they probably can get an opportunity to play in the NFL, especially defensive linemen. I'd really like to see Jermaine Fortson. He wasn't playing last time I was doing play-by-play when you were out, Richard, a couple weeks ago. But this guy was an All-American at Carver. He was on that state championship winning team with Jarvis Jones, with Duron Furr, Jermaine Fortson, Isaiah Crowell. He was only a freshman at the time. And, man, he's had an electric career with the Lions. He also had a great college career, and I'm looking forward to seeing him back on the field with the efficient. Can I say uber efficient? What's another great word for super efficient? Uber efficient? Either way, I think Marcus Brooks is one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the AIFA, but the NAL, all of arena football.
And Marcus Brooks definitely has weapons to throw to. The leading receivers, Desmond Reese with 197 yards, Tremel Gooden, the newcomer, with 190 yards. Alex Coleman didn't even play last week. He's got 172 yards. Demisio Ewing, big kickoff return specialist as well with 154 yards. And of course, Jermaine Fortson has only played in 2 games. He's already averaging 72 yards a game. And Roman Deloach, so he is just can spray the ball all over the field, and it seems like he's got time to throw. You know, he does not make those throws without the help of his offensive line.
Richard, I've never seen Marcus Brooks under duress. Not one time have I seen him, maybe once or twice. I'm not going to say that. Saying never seen it one time, that's going on a little bit of a leap. But I've never seen Marcus Brooks feel like he doesn't have enough time to get the ball off. And if he doesn't, he usually just takes a sack because he knows the next play, there's going to be a receiver wide open running down the field for a touchdown. When I called the game 2 weeks ago, my man Marcus Brooks had 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
Only 1 incompletion. And in the first half, 6 of 7 for 6 touchdowns. That means every pass other than 1 was a touchdown.
That's incredible.
That's how you know the offense is clicking on all cylinders. You got the offensive line that's dominant. You got the receivers that can't be guarded. You got a quarterback that's efficient and can hit it on target. but then you got to give credit to Chris McKinney and his staff. They come up with the X's and O's, and they're executing at an all-time high.
Well, Chris McKinney, he's done a great job. And by the way, it is his birthday today, too. So a special happy birthday to head football coach Chris McKinney as they are given the invocation right now. And we'll have the national anthem.
The visiting team as they travel to and from their destination. And we ask that you be with the fans as they travel to and from their destination. And we ask all these things in your son's name.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you kindly remain standing and remove your caps as we honor the flag and the singing of the national anthem. Please welcome to the field Mackenzie Rector.
For one, that's pretty incredible.
It is.
The great national anthem, but then we just saw someone get proposed to, and that's something you're not used to seeing for a player right before the game. Now, it may happen for fans or a player after the game, but not before the game, so that was very unique.
The only time I seen it after a game, the Statue of Liberty play, Boise State Fiesta Bowl, Ian Johnson proposing to his girlfriend, the cheerleader. But yeah, that kind of reminded me of that, but this is before the game. The Columbus Lions getting ready to take on the Capital City Cyclones as they're ready for the coin toss. This is actually the first scheduled game for the Capital City Cyclones. They are listed as a travel team. According to the schedule, they take on the South Florida Thunder next week. But we know the championship is going to be held July the 15th, and it's going to be here at the Columbus Civic Center. And the Columbus Lions will be hosting it. Try to go for their fourth championship as they won championships in the Professional Indoor Football League in 2010, 2015, and 2016.
By the way, a little bit of a technical difficulties, not from Toygar and not on the Columbus Lions YouTube page. He's too professional for that.
Oh, absolutely.
But the microphones were not working on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Now it is. For all those that are joining us, Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, we got the Columbus Lions undefeated, already clinched a spot in the American Indoor Football Alliance Championship, and they're taking on the Capital City Cyclones. And where's the Capital City Cyclones located, Richard?
Well, Thrift, the Capital City Cyclones are out of Tallahassee, Florida, and this is their first game of the season.
Well, last time we saw a team play their first game of the season against the Lions, it didn't turn out too well.
No, it definitely did not turn out too well. You're talking about the Mississippi Raiders, the defending AIFA champions. But if you look at some of these scores, Thrift, Columbus, they started out the season. It was kind of a close game against the South Florida Thunder. Then they took on the defending AIFA champions.
Well, you said it was a close game. I'm sorry to interrupt, but remember, it was pretty much out of a hand in that first half.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they started scoring to make it look closer than what it was.
Absolutely, no doubt. And then they defeated the defending AIFA champion, Mississippi Raiders, 63-6. Ewan Buckets had an opportunity to call that game. That was amazing. And then they took on the Southern Steam and defeated them 58-8. And then the Dallas Falcons, a game that you called, they defeated them 62-20. And then last week, 80-8 against the Peach State Cats. Wow.
I don't think, and you see with all the scores, I mean, normally they were scoring between 60 and 70 a game. They put that 80 point on there because Peach State decided they wanted to come in and say they were going to win the game. And I remember, I said this on the Sports Vision radio show on Thursday. I told Jack Patterson, when I heard 50-12, I was thinking that, you know what, they're trying to keep it close because 50-12 would be closer than any other team's gotten with the Lions. I didn't think they actually thought they were going to win the game. That's crazy. Well, it's time for kickoff, Richard.
Capital City is going to kick things off to the returner, Demisio Ewan. He's already got a couple of kickoff returns for a touchdown, as Gilardo Mata will be kicking it off. And I just had an opportunity to talk to the head official, Dana Barker, before the game. So it's not a deuce in the AIFA. It's just 1 point if he does get the field goal. And if they're tackled in the end zone, they get 1 point.
Which confused me last time we did this, me and Chris Gates, when they had a 1 point safety.
Right to Ewing. He's going to take it out. He's at the 5. Ewing's at the 10. He gets a block. Spin move, 15, and he gets taken out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. That is where Marcus Brooks and the Lions offense will start things.
Yeah, Richard, Marcus Brooks, he's been efficient. He's been lightning quick getting the ball out. But it's also hard not to hit receivers that are wide open, and there's not a defender within 5-10 yards. So I expect the Lions to start off how they have for the first 5 weeks. Hot, quick, and scoring a touchdown on their first drive.
Marcus Brooks, first season with the Columbus Lions out of Shaw University, 35 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, passing for over 1,000 yards, and he's averaging 200 yards a game, 66% completion.
And for those who don't know, 200 yards a game in the Arena Football League, which is only 50 yards, is
incredible. He's back to pass, throws to Deloach, and it is going to be incomplete.
Almost looked like he was able to get the a ricochet off that, Richard.
I thought Capital City got the ricochet.
I'll tell you, if you're Capital City, if you can manage to stop the Lions from scoring on that opening drive, that has to be a huge win because there's not been a team that has played the Lions that's been able to do that. So if they can do that in this opening drive, it doesn't mean they're going to win, but it gives them a little bit of a confidence boost going against this juggernaut.
2nd down and 10, man in motion. Brooks back to pass, throws. He's got a man open, and that is Tremel Gooden. It is caught, and it is close to the sticks. It looks like it's going to be close to a first down. Yeah, it's going to be short.
I think that's going to be 3rd down and about 1 right here,
Richard.
I
think about 1.
I tell you what, we don't see a lot of the running backs. Tyrese Battle, he's a really good running back. The big guy, John Holloway. They've even used Bracken Smith, the guy that proposed today, as an end around last time I called. He's an offensive lineman.
Brooks under center, 3rd and 1. Let's see if he tries. We're going to get a pre-snap penalty as Gooden was a little close off the line. Might be a false start, but let's hear it from the head official, Dana Barker, and it is false start on the Lions.
Dana Barker, a close friend of mine. This guy is like a Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, he's everywhere. There's really nothing that he doesn't do, it seems like. And he's an excellent official for these Columbus Lions and the American Indoor Football Alliance.
Brooks under center. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Tremel Gooden in motion. Brooks, 2 quick step drop. Passes, throws it to Roman Deloach in the end zone. Touchdown, Columbus.
Excellent throw, even better route. But it's always on target, and it's like dropping a hat in a bucket. It's just flipping it right in there. Great pass, great job by Brooks. and an opening touchdown. So tell me if you heard this before. Opening drive, touchdown for the Lions.
Pretty much every game. And Marcus Brooks floated it to Roman DeLoach. He had a defender all over him, but he was able to get it, and it was just a perfect pass. So Columbus leads 6-0 with 12:27 here in the first quarter. Ryson Richardson on to attempt the extra point for the Lions. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 12:13 left to go here in the first quarter, the Lions strike first over the Capital City Cyclones. Richard Holdridge, Thrift Behringer here for Columbus Lions YouTube channel and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be right back. And we are back here at the Columbus Civic Center. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, the Columbus Lions taking on the Capital City Cyclones. And they lead 6-0, so it looks like they did miss that extra point. But Ryson Richardson about to kick it off to, it looks like, number 4, Darlonzo Langston, as it's up, and it's a line drive, and it hits the scoreboard, and we kind of figured that could happen.
I mean,
and it's
especially if you're going to try to go for the field goal and try to kick it into the uprights and get that 1 point, you got to kick it high enough, because a straight line drive shot is not going to work. You're not going to have that much leg to kick it that hard at that low of an angle. So eventually, if you're going to try to kick the field goal, you're probably going to hit that up the scoreboard.
Absolutely. You got to kick it at an angle if you want to try to go for the deuce. The Capital City Cyclones, their first game here in the AIFA this season. So in at quarterback, Freeman Marcus is actually number 13. Number 13 is Luke Kennedy, and he passes his first pass, and it is caught by number 7. As we're trying to get the roster for Capital City.
Shout out to the guy from the Lions. What was his name that gave us the roster? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's Scott Peckham.
Yes, thank you to Scott for doing this, because when we looked up Capital City Cyclones roster, was not to be found.
They did not have
anything. It does not
anything.
help for a good broadcast when we don't have all the numbers correct. But thank you to Scott for being able to do that. And Luke Kennedy is the quarterback for these Cyclones.
Kennedy is under center. It is 2nd down and 8. Kennedy back to pass. It looks like he's going to take off, and he gets about a couple of yards. He's not going down, and on the tackle is number 72, Kenny Carter, with the stop. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Kenny Carter, the big man, you see how big he is down there, and I've seen him in person. He's even bigger in person. He definitely looks like he can eat me. And this guy's been a dominant defensive lineman for the Lions. And here we go, danger zone right now. If the Capital City Cyclones, you don't want to give the Lions the ball back this quickly. You need to get a couple first downs, let the clock run down the defense. So a big 3rd down early in this game for the Cyclones.
Kennedy under center. Jaquil Watson is to the far side. 3rd down and 6. Kennedy, 2-step drop. Passes it right to Jaquil Watson, and he gets the 1st down all the way into the 15-yard line and in Columbus Lions territory. I'll tell you, that was a very good pass from Kennedy
really good
to Watson.
Pass. Great drop step, as you said. Great call right there, Richard. But good blocking, giving him at least 3 seconds, and the Cyclones realize he's got to get the ball out quick. He's not going to have a lot of time to sit back, drop back, try to find the open guy. The quick intermediate passes is where he's going to be successful.
Fresh set of downs for the Cyclones, already trailing 6-0. Kennedy Back to pass, feeling the pressure. That looks like it got tipped at the line. It'll be incomplete. It'll be a second down. I tell you, that defensive line for the Columbus Lions getting their hands up and tipping the pass.
I love seeing the Lions uniforms, and it's good to see an actual winning Lions organization. And yeah, that is a dig to Detroit. Even though I will say the Detroit Lions expect to be good this year, but not the success that the Lions have had. Columbus Lions over the last 10 years, 3 championships, looking to go for number 4 this year.
Absolutely. As Luke Kennedy, the quarterback for the Cyclones, second down, Kennedy, he hands it off to number 23, and that's going to be all the way into the end zone for a touchdown for Capital City. Dykarens Watson. And we also get a flag on the play.
Extracurricular activities. We're going to hear from referee Dana Barker.
Let's see what this call is.
But an excellent play call right there.
So it's going to be a personal foul on the offense. It's going to be added on to the kickoff. But that looked like a quarterback draw.
It did. But it's one of those sneak handoffs you've seen a lot where when the quarterback takes a couple of drop sets back, looked like he's about to throw, and then he gives it to the running back for the easy up the middle play. Great call and a touchdown for the Cyclones. We got a tie game right now.
It's now 6-6.
People are like, well, come on, it's only the first quarter. But the Lions, the way they started these last several weeks, they're already up 20 points by the end of the first quarter. This is very surprising. We may have a game on our hands today.
Absolutely. Matt is on to tip the extra point, and we're going to get a flag on the play. Boy, these referees have really been active so far this game.
And I was talking to Dana Barker, he expected this to be a hardly fought contest game.
They're going to call an encroachment on Kenny Carter.
So if he makes this extra points, this is the first time the Lions have been trailing all season.
I believe it will be. Yes, it has to be. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. So we still have a tie game with 8:14 left to go here in the first quarter. The Columbus Lions and the Capital City Cyclones all knotted up at 6 in this American Indoor Football Alliance game. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge for the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We will be right back. Oh, Nick. We are back here at the Columbus Civic Center. Lions and Cyclones tied at 6. And the kickoff to Columbus, Demisio Ewing. He takes it at the end zone. He's at the 10. He gets a block. Ewing, spin move, 15. He will not go down. He's at the 20. And he gets taken down to the 23-yard line. A good run for Demisio Ewing.
Great field position for the Lions to start this second drive for them. But I'm going to go back. So they will add 15 more yards on top of the kickoff. So the Lions will start in the Cyclones territory, as Dana Barker, the referee, just said to us. Richard Holdridge, Thrift Behringer, Georgia-Alabama Sports Live, Columbus Lions YouTube page. And that last drive, Richard, by the Cyclones, wow. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, as I always say, and that counter play, run up the middle, had the Lions confused, and we got a tie game right now.
Well, I think the third down pass to Jaquil Watson and kept the drive going. That was huge.
That was a huge play. Able to get the first down, Richard, allowed them to get in the game, and this only builds confidence for a team that's trying to stay competitive with the Lions.
Brooks under center. Ball is at the 17-yard line. Two-step drop, back to throw, in the deep in the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Alex Coleman. Welcome back, Alex Coleman, and now Columbus regains the lead.
Wow, what a throw, one play, touchdown. This is what the Cyclones got to deal with. Maybe they can score every now and then, but to score in every drive, which we're accustomed to seeing with the Lions, that's a tall task. Easy play, pitch and catch. Marcus Brooks showing why he's the best quarterback in the AIFA.
This Columbus Lions team is going to be hard to stop if Marcus Brooks is able to get time like that. Rice and Richardson on to attempt the extra point. It's bobbled. Richardson tries to get it, and he is just going to fall on it, so the try is no good. So it is 12-6 with 6:56 left to go here in the first quarter. The Columbus Lions back on top over the Cyclones. You're watching the Columbus Lions YouTube as we do have a whistle. It's going to be a penalty on the Cyclones. Are they going to let them re-kick? It looks like that's going to be the case. So we will go ahead and try that attempt once again. Boy, I tell you, Thrift, the Lions caught a break there.
Yeah, they did. I'm kind of wondering why they didn't want to go for two right now, but I guess because the Cyclones missed their extra point, they are okay with going up by 7.
Exactly. I think this would put them up by 7, so that, again, it's just a little bit closer. The snap, the kick, it's up, and the kick is good. So the extra point is good. All right, so the Columbus Lions lead the Capital City Cyclones 13-6 with 6:40 left to go.
Well, we are going to have a media timeout, but while they're taking a timeout on the field, Richard, I want to talk about this Columbus Lions organization and how they had a tumultuous offseason this past year, but it did not take away from the ownership group, from everyone involved with the Lions, and the fact that they're still here. Great fan and community support, and now they're undefeated looking for another championship. I think this is exactly what Lee Snow, Casey Smith, Richard, I forgot his last name.
Masala?
And the ownership group for the Lions, this is what they wanted. They wanted to build positivity within the community, and I think they've done that this year, especially everything they had to go through to even get this season going is pretty incredible.
Well, Richard Masala was introduced as the new owner, the majority owner for the Columbus Lions. They did get the announcement that they have extended their 5-year lease for the Columbus Civic Center. Thrift, we're going to get Lions football for the next 5 years. This is absolutely incredible.
So we got Lions, we got River Dragons. We're pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
We got our sports team still here.
Exactly. Rice and Richardson is getting ready to kick things off to the kick returner for the Cyclones, and it is Jaquel Watson back in the end zone. I tell you what, Thrift, we have seen a competitive game so far as Rice and Richardson get ready to kick things off. And he kicks it right to Watson, who takes it out. He's at the 5, he's at the 10, and he gets bulldozed. Wow, what a hit.
And what great job on the coverage downfield by Chris Slaughter out of Auburn.
I tell you, his last name really speaks of.
That was an SEC-like hit right there.
Absolutely. You got to understand why the SEC, it means more, and they hit hard, and he played at Auburn. So there you go. Capital City was going to start things on the 18-yard line. And back to work is Kennedy, as DeCarens Watson had a 16-yard touchdown to tie it. But so far, he is 2 for 3 with 11 yards in this game. So Kennedy under center, back to pass. He's going to throw it to Watson, and
Watson's
he is going,
making a living out there, Richard, on the short flats, getting the ball out quick as Kennedy, and I think I know the game plan for the Cyclones. Get the ball out, allow your playmakers to make plays in space, and don't allow that Columbus Lions D-line to have an effect on this game.
That's actually a pretty good game plan. Short screen passes to pick up yardage. You don't have to get it all at once.
No.
And that's one way to control time of possession and to wear out the Lions defense. 2nd down and 2. Kennedy under center. And he's back to pass. We get a flag on the play, and that pass is incomplete. It was intended for Darlonzo Langston. Let's see what the head ref, Dana Barker, calls offside on the Lions. That's going to give Capital City a fresh set of downs. I tell you, you hate seeing that if you're the Lions, to give up a 1st down on a penalty. But that puts Capital City in Columbus territory. So far, I'm very impressed with the poise of Luke Kennedy, as he has really been confident in the pocket. 5:10 left to go here in the 1st quarter. Kennedy under center. And he hands it off once again to Watson. And Watson does not, he loses his helmet. He refused to go down, but we get a flag on the play as well.
We got a lot of penalties that's happened early in this game, but that was a mega hit on number 23, DeCarens Watson. His helmet fell off.
And it's going to be backed up. 10 more yards for Capital City. I tell you, if there was holding on that play, there wasn't really much of a hold because the Lions defense swarmed to Watson. They centered on him because he was the one that had the 16-yard touchdown. Well, now they're backed up at about the 23-yard line, still in Lions territory. As Kennedy is under center. He's got Marcus in motion. Kennedy loses the football. That looked like a strip sack by DeAndre Brown.
DeAndre Brown.
Wow.
And you knew, I mean, it took 10 minutes into this game, but you knew eventually Brown, Washington, Carter, they were going to be living in that backfield, and he gave Luke Kennedy a lick he'll never forget.
Well, Kennedy was fortunate to get it back because DeAndre Brown came in with a bull rush and the strip sack almost, and Kennedy was able to get it back. So that's going to bring up, it looks like a 2nd down, and I can't tell right now. It looks like a 30. You know, the 1st down marker is right at the 13-yard line. They're at the 20 on their own 20. Kennedy back to pass, steps up, and it's going to be incomplete.
Great coverage right there.
That was intended for Langston. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for Capital City. This is definitely what Capital City does not want to do, is end up in a 3rd and long situation already down and give the Lions the football back. So there's no punts in the AIFA, as the head referee, Dana Barker, told me. Everything is a field goal attempt, and then you have a returner back for the other team. Just in case you're wondering.
3rd down and long right here, and you're expecting Luke Kennedy. He's going to have to get it out quick.
Kennedy under center. Has to give it up quick. There's a flag on the play. The pass is caught by number 4, Langston.
I think we may have another
short
holding
gain.
penalty.
But let's see what the flag is.
Oh, no, we got it offsides, I think. Here's Dana Barker.
If it's offsides, it'll be a free play. Lions think they're thinking it's going to be waved off. False start on the offense. And it's going to be 4th down because the Lions choose to decline the penalty. So it's going to bring up a 4th, and I'm going to say that's about a 4th and 25. And I don't see the field goal kicker out. It looks like they're going for it. Now, why not? Already down 13-6. Kennedy under center. Back to pass. Steps up. Throws. And it is caught. What a catch by Freeman Marcus for the touchdown. Wow.
Incredible throw. And the Lions are showing that they're here to play. They're not going anywhere. And I really like that quarterback in Kennedy. The guy can stand in there, take a hit, and deliver an excellent throw. And the Cyclones are showing that they can compete. And the Lions are going to have to play their A game. I don't know if they expected them to roll over like most teams have in this league so far in this season. But the Cyclones are showing they ain't going to do that, especially here early in this game.
Thrift, could we possibly see a shootout in this game?
I would love it instead of 80-8. No offense,
Yeah.
I love the Lions, but I would love a competitive game.
The snap, the kick, it's up. And the kick is good. So we are tied at 13 here in the first quarter with 1:53 left to go. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holders for the Columbus Lions YouTube page and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be right back. Civic Center, the Columbus Lions and the Capital City Cyclones knotted up at 13. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here for this AIFA last regular season game for the Columbus Lions, and I think we might end up seeing a shootout tonight. As Demisio Ewing will be back to accept this kickoff. As I got to tell you, I'm impressed with Luke Kennedy. I mean, he's been matching the Lions score to score. Marcus Brooks has got 2 touchdown passes. He's got 37 so far on the season. And we got Matta getting ready to kick things off here in the first quarter. There's a high kick.
Leave that over the scoreboard.
He got it, and Ewing's at the 5, he's at the 10, Ewing's at the 15, he's
There
at the 20.
he
And if he wouldn't have slipped, I think that would have been a TD.
Shoestring tackle, but another excellent return right there by Ewing, and he is showing why he's one of the best return specialists in the American Indoor Football Alliance. And now you've got mano-a-mano, one punch after another. Lions laid their first lick, Cyclones came right back. Lions hit them again. Cyclones came back with another uppercut. Now it's time for the Lions, not the Vikings, to come on and show their dominance.
Thrift, this is the way arena football should be. Just back-to-back scores, hoping to get a defensive stop. That's how you're going to win the game. Marcus Brooks with already 2 touchdown passes, as he has 1 to Alex Coleman, 1 to Ramon Deloach. And he is already in Capital City territory on this first possession under center. As Gooden back to pass, throws, and it was intended for Tremel Gooden, incomplete, but we do get incomplete, but a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold on Wandell Rutledge for the Columbus Lions. It's going to back them up 10 yards.
Our boy Jack Patterson in the building.
Big shout out to JP, WRBL. Here we go. Ball is at the 17-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 20. But, you know, Capital City was able to convert on a 4th and 30. So, as we do get a timeout, Coach McKinney is going to call a timeout.
And I see a lot of Cyclones with a lot of energy right now. Now, we hope they can stay with this energy as we head into later in the game. But you're seeing a competent team, and we have not seen that from anybody that's played the Lions so far in this Civic Center. No confidence. And by the time that they even get a chance to get past half the field and the other half of the field, they're already down 20 points. Right now they're tied, and we're looking to go into the second quarter 13-13. Now, I do think the referees are trying to calm down the extracurricular activities from the Lions and Cyclones.
Marcus Brooks under center as the ball's on the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20. Brooks back to pass, quick throw, and it is intended for Alex Coleman. It's going to be incomplete.
I tell you what, you could hear almost a pin drop right now if you're a Lions fan. I mean, they're so used to it being a dominant blowout. You're hearing the reaction from a lot of the Cyclones players. Usually you can't hear nothing in here.
It's a 2nd and 20 for Columbus. As you're right, Capital City has got a lot of confidence right now. They are tied with the best team in the AIFA. Lions come into this 5-0, and they have secured that spot in the championship game. Marcus Brooks under center, Tremel Gooden in motion. Brooks back to pass, throws to Gooden. It's caught as he gets over to the sideline and he gets pushed out of bounds, but we do have a flag on the play. With 3 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
I love how passionate the Lions fans are.
Absolutely, a lot of them have just been faithful since 2006. A penalty on the defense and an automatic first down for the Lions. That is huge because they had a 2nd and 20. That's one thing you don't want to do if you're Capital City, is give up a penalty like that. Well, that's the end of the first quarter. We are tied at 13 here at the Columbus Civic Center. As we get ready to start the second quarter, Thrift Berger will take over for play-by-play. You are watching the Columbus Lions on their YouTube page and watching the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Columbus Lions versus the Capital City Cyclones on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Thrift Berger, Richard Holdridge. We got a tie game headed in the second quarter. Tell me if you heard that before, Richard, this year with the Lions.
Not this year for the Lions. It's been all blowouts.
Brooks under center now. Trots back, throws over the middle, and miscommunication from the receivers. And there were only 3 Cyclones players, so that will be 2nd down now for the Lions.
And it was just a rare miscommunication, Marcus Brooks. There was no receivers in the end zone, but he's a type of player, he'll get that back. I mean, Lions are in really great position here in Cyclones territory. And he's got weapons to throw the ball to. One thing interesting about this league is there's no Ironman rules like in the NAL. So you're going to see just defensive specialists and offensive specialists.
Tremel Gooden, Chris Slaughter to the far side, man in motion, Alex Coleman, Brooks over the middle, and nice coverage right there for number 5, Durante Davis of the Cyclones, and pretty good coverage from the secondary so far in the second quarter from Capital City. Now we got 3rd down.
Durante Davis is really firing up that defense. And Capital City, if they can stop the Lions here, that's going to give them a lot of confidence. The previous sequence, they had a 2nd and 20, and they had a penalty, which gave the Lions an automatic first down. So they're hoping to get a big stop here.
Gooden to the near side. Coleman in motion. Brooks. Pass, touchdown, Lions! And just like that, the Columbus Lions are back in front. Great throw, great route, and touchdown for Marcus Brooks.
Marcus Brooks' 3rd touchdown of the game. Alex Coleman's 2nd touchdown of the game. And it looked like they were on the same page there, wide open in the back of the end zone. Great play call, too, on a 3rd and long. Wow, and the Columbus Lions back on top.
So after that miscommunication from Marcus Brooks, gets right back on page. And throws a great pass to Coleman. And the Lions trying to go up by 7. Richardson, looks like we got
some movement.
We'll see from Dana Barker. So that's going to be offsides on the Lions. And I will say, Lions a little bit sloppy right now, especially for Coach McKinney's liking. By the way, it's a coach's birthday today.
Yes, happy birthday to Coach McKinney. Absolutely, the former Albany Empire defensive backs coach. I tell you, he's done just an outstanding job taking over for a legend.
I have a comment on the Albany Empire in just a minute. First, the extra point. Richardson's kick is no good. So the Lions are up by 6, and I will say, I think Chris McKinney made a really good career choice.
He does.
Leaving the Albany Empire. And if you follow the Empire and everything that's going on with Antonio Brown and how they're not even playing in the league right now.
They got kicked out of the league.
I think he made a really good career choice, and we're glad to have him here with the Lions. Rip Behringer, Richard Holdridge live on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Lions 5-0, look to go 6-0. They have one more regular season game against the Mississippi Raiders, correct?
Well, yeah, they were scheduled to play Mississippi on July the 15th. That has changed to the AIFA championship game. So it might be Mississippi, but I think that there's going to be a semifinal game between Mississippi and
maybe the Cyclones.
Maybe the Cyclones, exactly.
Because I'll tell you right now, I would put my money on the Cyclones, especially the way they came out and played. The Raiders were dominated in that game that me and Johnson Deshusky called on Memorial Day weekend.
This could be a preview of the AIFA championship.
Great fan support here in the Columbus Civic Center.
As they always have been, Lions faithful. You know, on a Friday night, I mean, this is really where you want to be if you're an indoor football fan. And the Columbus Lions really putting on a show this season.
And you have to, if you're a professional organization, you got to put on a good event. You want people to spend money and watch you, you got to be entertaining. That kick is a low squibbler. It does hit a Cyclone. He cannot get his hand on, so he just falls on the ground, gets back up.
That was actually a good play because now the Cyclones don't have very good field position.
Yeah, instead of trying to go for that 1-point play for it going through the uprights, just give them bad field position. Because if it goes out of the end zone, they start at the 20. Right now, they're starting at the 13. I think the Lions would choose that over the 20.
That absolutely was a good play.
Luke Kennedy under center. He's played very well so far in this game. He's got a touchdown pass. And he's been in complete control of the Cyclones offense. Man in motion. Kennedy drops back, good time, gets out of pressure, decides he's gonna run, spin move, and he spins right in to the big man. Number 2, Ken Washington.
Ken Washington out of FAMU. He was on this team last year, and he was a catalyst on that defense. And if you go in the direction of Ken Washington, you better just duck out of the way because Ken Washington with the big hit on Kennedy.
I'd run the other way if he was
running
at me.
I would, yeah. I definitely would.
I'm out of here. They're not going to get me. Second down and about 7 now. Man in motion. Kennedy does that counter play, gives it to the big running back, number 23, Daikarens Watson, and he gets close to the first down. I like that play for the Cyclones. Looks like he's going to do a drop back pass, and then it slips it into the running back. And he gets positive yards, and now it sets up 3rd and short now for the Cyclones.
2 good runs by Decarius Watson. The first one was a 16-yard touchdown. And, he had a spin move, and I really like that quarterback draw.
I do too. And I like the quarterback. You're seeing how competitive he is and how hard he's staying with it. 3rd and short. Fans making noise. Can the lines, defensive line, and we got a penalty. Waiting on Dana Barker, the head official.
He's also a head official in the AHSAA and the GHSA in high school football.
5-yard penalty on the offense. So now it's going to set up 3rd and 6. And we haven't seen that defensive line, other than one play in this game so far, make an appearance. I expect them to be in the backfield, but you got to give credit to the Cyclones offensive line. They did a good job blocking.
They really had. I mean, DeAndre Brown got the closest, but yeah, we have yet to see a sack in this game.
Cairns and Kennedy in the backfield. Another handoff to Cairns. This time, another positive gain, and if it wasn't for the penalty, would have been a first down. But now it sets up 4th and short, and if you're the Cyclones, you're obviously going for this. Especially
Definitely.
Every time you've handed to Cairns, he's got at least 5 or 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, Darius Watson, or McCarron's has done good so far. I mean, he's able to get the runs.
All right, let's see the Lions, defensive line, pin their ears back to see if they can get a big stop. 4th down, Kennedy, man in motion, sets back, quick pass, and intercepted. What a play, and there he goes down the sideline. What an interception by Kyle Griswold. Excellent one-headed pick. It looked like the receiver was open. And now we may have some taunting penalty on the Lions. And now the coach is going crazy for the Cyclones.
He had a pick in last week's game. Kyle Griswold, the Duke Blue Devil, with just an incredible interception.
Incredible interception, great time and play, but that was all athleticism.
Oh, and look at Roman Deloche trying to fire up the crowd.
We're going to hear from Dana Barker because there was a lot of extra activity. So what we had right there, the Cyclones coach is saying that Griswold was taunting his players. That's why they reacted the way they did and ended up pushing him. The referees, including Dana Barker, disagree. They say that that was unsolicited, and the fact that the Cyclones not only have 1 but 2 unsportsmanlike penalties right there sets up easy 1st and goal for the Lions.
Yeah, and that was one of those plays where, Griswold's just got a lot of emotions. He's excited after the interception. That's not necessarily taunting. I mean, I've seen way back in 2009, A.J. Green get a touchdown, and he got excited, and the refs called taunting, So sometimes it happens. It's subjective, but the head ref, Dana Barker, didn't think it was subjective. It wasn't a taunting.
And I will say, the Cyclones coach, he got a little out of control right there. Dana's talking to him, trying to calm cooler heads right now. Cool heads always prevail in sports.
Absolutely.
And I don't want this to take away from what has been a highly competitive game, but a great play by Kyle Griswold, and it sets up the Lions 1st and goal at the Cyclones' 3-yard line. Coleman, he's all the way to the 20-yard line. He's getting a huge running start. Brooks sends him in motion, hands it off around and spin move, and a good tackle.
I'll tell you, Alex Coleman coming out of the backfield like a freight train was trying to go for the end zone. A good run play.
Enrique Crumbs with a good tackle, but he's doing some extra taunting. He's getting into it with the fans. The fans are obviously ignoring him. It was a good tackle, still a positive gain, and the problem is they only got to get a yard to score a touchdown here.
I would go for another run play here. Why not?
Watch Bracken Smith around left end. I'm calling it right now. Brooks, no QB sneak. Does he get in? He loses the football. The Cyclones got it. And he can't be tackled. Coleman tried to, stiff arm, and he finally gets down all the way to the 18-yard line. Wow, what a play right there by the big man, Ty Lee Alston. Just stripped Marcus Brooks as he was trying to get it over the goal line. But I'm pretty shocked what just happened there. Yes.
It completely changes the momentum in this game. The Lions were getting ready to go up 2 scores. This is could possibly be a 14-point swing. But we see this all the time in football where somebody will fumble at the goal line, and you know we've seen like big men and defensive players take it all the way to the house for a touchdown.
But what a turn of events. And the Lions squander a pretty good opportunity to go up by 2 touchdowns. Cyclones now starting at the Lions 19. Gorlonzo Langston, the near receiver. On the far side is Freeman Marcus. Man in motion is William Kelly. Handoff to the big running back, and he gets 5 or 6 yards per carry. Dykarians Watson, good blocking and great running. And then that was a good first down play. Makes it 2nd down and 5.
I got to tell you, I'm impressed with Dykarius Watson. So far, 3 attempts, 27 yards. I mean, this is rare that you see a running back with more than 20 yards rushing in an arena game.
At 9 yards a carry, he's pretty much unstoppable in short yardage situations. Not something you're used to seeing with this dominant defensive line for the Lions. Kennedy under center.
Yep, play clock wound down. Delay game.
Silly delay of game if you're Luke Kennedy and the Cyclones. You just negated what was a really good first down play to stay ahead of the 6. Now you're back at 2nd and 10. But I also know what the Cyclones are doing. They are trying to run the play clock down all the way so it wastes time to keep the ball in the hands of the Lions. You're not used to seeing an arena football team trying to have long possessions, but that's what the Cyclones are doing. Man in motion. Kennedy drops back over the middle. Could have been intercepted again if that ball wasn't tipped. Good job by William Kelly putting his hand on it because number 27 for the Lions, James Gray, was there for an interception.
And James Gray looked like he almost got the interception as it was like bouncing on the ground and it finally touched the ground. But, you know, when it's bobbled in the air, you just never know where it's going to end up. Well, this Lions defense has really been great all season. They've made big plays. Expect Darrell Green to make a big play.
Looks like another second delay of game.
Yeah, on this drive.
In one drive.
That's just miscommunication, not knowing the play clock, not trying to, you know, when you're going to the line of scrimmage and you're hesitating to get the play off, I mean, that's just uncalled for. I mean, that's why you have timeouts.
So from 1st and 5 to now 3rd and 15.
Are they saving their timeouts for something?
And the main reason for that is because 2 delay of game penalties.
Well, maybe they think they could pick it up because they did convert a 4th and 30.
Kennedy drops back over the middle, almost intercepted again. But Darrell Green knocked it away as number 27, James Gray, thought he had another easy interception. But at that point, Green doesn't know he's behind him. He's just making sure that the Cyclones don't catch it, so I'm not going to blame him for that. Good play, and now we got 4th and long.
Darrell Green has made big plays for the Columbus Lions this year and last year. I remember him getting a pick 6 to seal the victory against the Jacksonville Sharks. That's just the type of player Darrell Green is. He's a ball hawk. He likes to take it to the house. He gets pick 6s all the time.
This is where the big men, Ken Carter, Washington, and Brown, this is where they made their living. 4th and 15. Kennedy throws it short. Had to get rid of it quick because the defensive line for the Lions not even close to the first down, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Good defense by the Lions, and they'll start at their own 20. Good defense right there to stop what was a lot of momentum heading in the Cyclones' direction with that strip fumble at the goal line.
It absolutely was, and it took some time off the clock, but I was confused on that play. Kennedy didn't try to go for the first down. That was the only option. You're going to turn it over on downs if you don't get to the sticks. I mean, you got to go for it on that play. But the Lions defense comes through, and they get the stop.
Brooks, pump fakes, eludes the defender. Brooks throws it downfield for the touchdown. Tremel Gooden, and an excellent job by Marcus Brooks, shaking and baking, doing what he does, playmaking for the touchdown.
Marcus Brooks, playmaker. Did you see that spin move rolling out of the pocket? He had to throw under duress. And what a throw in the back of the end zone to Tremel Gooden.
We do have an Andrew Cyclone over there. Brooks eludes the first defender. Know he's about to take a hit, but see crossing over the middle, Gooden for the touchdown.
Thrift, I hope Jack Patterson got that highlight for the news tonight for WRBL Sports, because that was incredible.
Lions look like they're going to go for 2 right here to go up by 14.
And that's the right call. You want to go up by 14. Make it a 2-score game. This is going to be the largest lead for the Columbus Lions. So far it is in this game. You also got to factor that Capital City will get the ball to start the second half. That's something
a good point, Richard. It's
that
something
you got
to
think about. You don't want to play that game where if Capital City is within 1 score, well, they could tie it on their first possession in the second half.
Deloach, Gooden, Coleman in motion. Brooks throws it up, and what a play by Raymond Deloach. What we used to call moss on, as he goes up, and when you're Raymond Deloach and you're 6'4", you're 230 pounds, and you can jump out the gym, field, wherever you're playing, it's hard to guard. Great job by him. And the Lions go up 27-13. We're going to take a quick break. It's Thrift Behringer, it's Richard Holdridge here live on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page.
So there is a story to why the end zone.
Welcome back here to the Columbus Civic Center. Columbus Lions up by 14, another swivel kick. He can't handle the football. Now he's going to try to make something of it. Bobbled play right there by number 5, Durante Davis. Good coverage by the Lions, but a great job by Davis making something out of nothing, because the way that possession started, it looked like that he may have got that 1-point safety, but able to come out to at least a 15. And the Cyclones right now, I feel like you need to score. You need at least to run the clock out. The Lions get again and go up by 21. That's going to be a hard deficit to overcome. It's a big possession right here. If you want to stay in this game, you need to score.
The Cyclones are still in this game, only down by 14 points. They're going to get the ball to start the second half. They've got to eat up clock and score and not give any time to the Lions to score to end the first half. Because we saw the Lions that saved all their timeouts last week, and they were able to score with less than 30 seconds because they were able to use all their timeouts. And they scored right when the clock expired.
Kennedy, quick throw, tipped at the line. We do have a penalty.
Another tip at the line for the Columbus Lions.
So it makes it 1st and 15 now for the Cyclones. Kennedy on the center, man in motion, drops back, throws. He was open for a minute, but not able to hit him. Freeman Marcus was open downfield. And looks like the coach for the Cyclones has been ejected. Dana Barker says, no more. And he's just pointing. He's not even gonna argue with him. He says, see ya.
You're gone. That's the first time I've seen a coach get ejected in indoor football.
And Dana is one of those that he's got a lot of patience, but eventually, as human beings, and that's going to get the fans fired up here.
That
There's
sure did.
There's nothing more that a fan loves than the opposing team's player coach getting ejected.
Yeah, I've seen that in other leagues, but definitely that's a first for indoor football. But does he have to actually leave the arena, or can he come up in the stands and watch the game?
Well, now he's hurting his team as well, so someone else is going to have to make play calls. Kennedy, 2nd down and a cajillion, hands it off. Stiff arm, and nobody's bringing him down. What a spin move, and now it's a race to the end zone all the way for a touchdown.
I believe Thrift Decarius Watson has just broke the rushing record for rushing yards in an arena game.
What a play, and I will tell you, he's been the best running back I've seen so far playing against the Lions. This guy is a huge, huge specimen. I think they like to call them tanks. And right there, that tank wasn't going down, and then he showed the speed to go all the way to the end zone, and a huge possession for the Cyclones, especially when they were close to their end zone. Their coach just got ejected. The very next play, touchdown to bring it right back into 8.
And I mean, it was a good run.
1 minute warning.
The 1 minute warning, but it was a good run, but you also gave the Columbus Lions too much time on the clock.
Right. Lions don't need much to score, and a minute's a lot of time for a quick strike offense. And the Lions, Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, live on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page and the Columbus Lions YouTube. Shout out at Toygar. None of this happens without him on the 1s and 2s. Statistician Nick. Mike Kelly from P&B Broadcasting down there being the DJ. Aiden as a PA. Kick on the way is blocked. Picks up, but all still live, but a great block right there by the Lions.
And I'm not sure if the AIFA rules state that if you return a block kick, if it goes back for 1 point or 2. I'm not sure. Probably in the AIFA, everything's 1 point. But I thought the Columbus Lions were going to run that one back. But Thrift, I do believe that Decarius Watson did set the rushing record for a single game because he's got 77 yards for 6 carries and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's rare. You don't see that in the arena game. It's mostly passing.
Lions up by 8 right now. 27-19, been a shootout. I thought both teams have been fairly balanced on their offensive play calls.
They
and to be
truly
honest
have.
with you, the running game of the Cyclones have negated the defensive line for the Lions. It's hard for them to get sacks when you're running the football a lot, and that's what they've done, and that's kept them in this game. But if the Lions can score right here, it will be a huge momentum boost heading into halftime. Kick on the way, and it hits the screen that's above.
That really was a high kick because it hit the black backdrops that they have for concerts up here. That's well above the scoreboard. So that was a very high arching kick. And that's what you don't want to do, is give the Columbus Lions good field position with a minute left to go in this game. But I tell you what, Thrift, if Capital City does get a stop here, they do get the ball to start the second half.
Marcus Brooks getting an instruction from Coach McKinney. 1 minute left here. Brooks under center. Man in motion is Slaughter. Brooks over the middle is Coleman. Catches down at the 10. And just like that, the Columbus Lions will go first and goal now. Clock ticking, but no rush from the Lions. Still plenty of time, 40 seconds. Now down to 35. And I'll stand corrected, they're at the 11-yard line.
I thought maybe they called timeouts here. They're just letting the clock run. They want to try to get the last score before halftime.
On the near side is Demesio Ewing. Also Chris Slaughter. Coleman in motion. Brooks. Pump fakes. Looking. Corner of the end zone. What a play! Touchdown, Demesio Ewing. And a great play and pass by Marcus Brooks. Pump fakes. Finds him streaking in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. And the Lions go up 33-19.
Marcus
with
Brooks.
9 seconds remaining.
Wow.
Great possession and great timing by the Lions as they leave little to no time for the Cyclones to counter.
Rein him up, 4 touchdown passes for Marcus Brooks. Demesio Ewing's 5th touchdown of the season. And the Columbus Lions responded after that big, long touchdown run by Capital City to get a score with just 9 seconds left to go. That's how you come out and really go to halftime. Well, still with 9 seconds left to go, they got to try to stop Capital City. But they
now we got a delay game on the Lions right now. Brooks and McKinney trying to go up by 16, make it 35-19.
And if you're an arena team, you want to try to get a cushion between you and the opposing team. A 2-score lead is highly over because you could always get another stop as the other team. but it gives you a little bit of comfort to know that you're up 2 scores.
Brooks sending the man in motion. Coleman, open, corner, touchdown. Excuse me, 2-point conversion is good. And that's gonna make it 35-19, and that deadly combination of Brooks to Coleman has proved lethal in this game. And the Lions go up by 16 with 9 seconds remaining until halftime.
It looks like Marcus Brooks and Alex Coleman are on the same page. You know, Coleman missed last week's game against Peach State. And to come back in this game and have 2 touchdown passes, had the 2-point conversion, the Columbus Lions firing on all cylinders, and they would love to get a stop against Capital City so they can continue to extend this lead. Columbus 5-0 on the season, trying to wrap up the regular season here in the AIFA. Big shout out to the Kendrick Marching Band over there and in the end zone, as they usually come out to these Lions games. Do a great job. Boy, Thrift, we've really seen it all today. We've seen a proposal. We've seen a back and forth game.
We've seen an ejection.
Exactly.
A little bit of everything here. And this has by far been the closest game the Lions have played so far this season. Richardson set for the kickoff. This time he kicks it high. Should be returnable. It is up the middle. Breaks a tackle, but not the second one. Good coverage right there by number 12, Demisio Ewing.
Well, Capital City's got time for maybe 1 play to the end zone. Even if they have all their timeouts, 3 seconds is not enough time to, you just got to throw it in the end zone and see what happens.
You expect that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cyclones call another counter run play right here, because it's been hard to tackle.
It's worked.
The big man, the tank, number 23, DeCarens Watson.
Well, I think that Columbus is going to try to target DeCarens Watson and try to put more defenders in the box to try to stop him. Make Kennedy pass. I think that's the game plan in the second half.
Capital City calls the timeout.
But in my time of calling arena football, Thrift, this is the greatest performance by a running back that I have seen in the 2 years that I've called for the Columbus Lions. There's no question.
No question at all.
I'm trying to get his official stats. 5 carries, 77 yards, a 45-yard touchdown by DeCarens Watson.
Could we see our first 100-yard rusher?
I would like to see, possibly.
Well, he's not out there right now, so I expect the Cyclones to throw.
Some teams don't even rush for 100 yards all season.
Kennedy sends the man in motion. Wide open. Throws it down and intercepted. And that's going to end the first half. Great play by James Gray.
Right place, right time.
And that's going to send us to halftime. The Lions lead 35-19. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, Columbus Lions YouTube channel, and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be back here in a few minutes. It's halftime. All Lions 35-19.
We are halftime here.
Columbus Civic Center, Thrift Manager Richard Holdridge. We're doing like a tag team.
We kind of did.
Tag team type thing right
play
now.
by play.
I'm doing second and fourth. He's doing first and third. Doesn't matter, though. We got a great broadcast. We got Columbus Lions YouTube channel, Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Richard, we got a game, 35-19.
We really
talking
do.
to Jack Patterson. This is what people sign up to see. Competitive football here between the Cyclones and the Lions.
It really has, and if it wasn't for an interception by Kyle Griswold, it really was the momentum shifter. The Capital City's had their moments, but I got to tell you, I'm impressed with Capital City's running back because he's about to, I believe he's broken the record for most rushing yards in a game in the AIFA. I mean, it's pretty incredible what this running back has done for Capital City. Decorius Watson, I mean, 5 attempts, 77 yards, including a 45-yard scat to the house.
He's been unstoppable. He reminds me a little bit of Jerome Bettis, the bus.
Oh, the bus,
He's
yes.
been hard to tackle. He's got speed. He's got deceptive quickness. You would think with, as with his body type being the big physical runner, that he wouldn't be elusive. That's not the case. He does have that, but he's also hard to bring down to the ground, and he's one of the main reasons why the Cyclones are only down by 16. But Marcus Brooks, he does Marcus Brooks things every single game, and none other than today, he has been absolutely incredible. 6 completions, only 4 incompletions, and 4 touchdown passes. He's just doing the same thing that we see Marcus Brooks do every single game this season, efficient and touchdowns.
But he also had the highlight of the game, a spin move to get out of a tackle, rolled to his left, and threw off balance into the end zone for a touchdown to Alex Coleman. It was textbook. And a highlight reel, too. But I tell you, Thrift, I'm really excited about this second half. Hopefully the Columbus Lions can get a victory as they get momentum going into the championship game on July the 15th, which will be here at the Columbus Civic Center.
Going all season undefeated. I don't know if that would be a first for the Lions. It probably would be. I have to look at their history. This is an incredible season that we've seen so far. And Marcus Brooks and these Lions, by the way, we will have our post-game show on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. So make sure to go there. Myself and Richard Holdridge will be interviewing some players. Hopefully maybe get an interview with Coach Chris McKinney. And we're about to get ready, underway. Richard, Thrift, Columbus Lions YouTube, Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we got ourselves a great game. Lions are going to be kicking off this time. Cyclones trying to start off the way they started with a touchdown.
Cyclones are going to get the ball to start the second half, and they really got to start out fast. But I think the game plan is just to give the football to Decorius Watson. I mean, not too bad. I mean, I've never seen a running back in the Arena League rush for 100 yards because most teams don't even rush for 100 yards in a season. The leading rusher for the Lions only has 22 yards, so anything can happen.
Bracken Smith has 2 rushing touchdowns. The offensive lineman.
Well, a lot of teams will rush when it's a 3rd and short, or if it's at a goal line play.
But I like the game plan for the Cyclones because they know being in a shootout is probably not the best option. Running the football, having the clock run, scoring that way is probably better for these Cyclones.
And we're kicking off to start the second half, and running it back is number 5, Durante Davis, and he gets taken down. Oh, and he gets body slammed to the ground. Wow. Demisio Ewing just taking him and just treating him like a rag doll. Wow. I know we've had WWE events here at the Civic Center, Thrift, but
yeah, we're not watching a wrestling match, but that was a hard lick right there. And that's going to start with the Cyclones penalty as well. Another unsportsmanlike conduct on the Cyclones.
But overall, this
they're actually going to call that on the Lions.
They did call it on the Lions.
So that means the Cyclones are going to start with great field position at midfield.
Well, Luke Kennedy, 6 for 12. He's completed 50% of his passes. He does have a touchdown pass to Freeman Marcus. And it has been Decorius Watson with 2 touchdown passes. The Cyclones are at midfield. Kennedy under center. Kennedy back to pass. He rolls to his right, throws it in the flat. It is caught by Oscar Scott, but a little laundry on the field, and let's see what the penalty is.
Good tackle right there by Droyle Green. And here's Dana Barker with
Dana Barker, the head official in here, the AIFA. And it will be a legal defense on the Columbus Lions. And it's going to bring up a first down for Capital City. This is the first game for Capital City this season in the AIFA. They are a traveling team. But I tell you what, I would not be shocked if they're back in the championship with Columbus.
And I tell you what, I don't like how the Lions came out here with an unsportsmanlike penalty, another offsides right there. Now we got 1st and 5, and Cyclones starting with some momentum.
Kennedy back to pass, pump fake, throws, and it is incomplete. That was intended for Eric Dukes. And it'll bring up 2nd down. I tell you what, this Lions defense, they seem to be in the right place at the right time, and a lot of drop passes, a lot of incompletions, a lot of off-target throws, and that's because the Lions defense has really kept that the Capital City Cyclones under duress. I was about to say Iowa City Cyclones.
I tell you what, that was the first time I've seen Kennedy be under pressure since early in that first half. 2nd and 5 now.
Kennedy back to pass. Quick throw, and that is caught by Jaquel Watson. Watson is being the leading receiver for the Cyclones. That's his 4th reception. He's been Kennedy's favorite target. As the Lions leading 35-19 over Capital City. 5-0 on the season, trying to go to 6-0. It's a big 3rd down conversion here for Capital City. Ball is at the 17.
Short. Right now, I do not see the running back Watson. I'm wondering if he got hurt. Number 23 is not out there right now.
That's what I'm thinking too. 3rd down and 4. And the give is to the running back, and he gets stuffed for a loss on the play. What a play by the Columbus Lions as Joseph Jones with a loss on the play.
Ware made the tackle as well, number 16, and he sniffed that out. They weren't going to get away with another counter play, but also when you're not handing to your efficient running back, and we'll try to get word what happened to Watson if he's going to be able to come back in this game. That would be a huge loss for these Cyclones. Now we got 4th and long, 4th and about 5, Richard. Let's see if Ken Washington, the defensive line, can get after him.
4th and 5 as Luke Kennedy under center, trying to convert this 4th down. Kennedy back to pass, feeling the pressure, gets taken out, almost intercepted by Droyle Green, but it will be a turnover on downs for the Columbus Lions. I tell you, the pressure from that Lions defense really caused Kennedy to throw it, and it was just an ill-advised throw and a turnover on downs. 11:39 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia Alabama Live Sports Live Facebook page. As this is actually, Thrift, I believe this is the first event that you are broadcasting on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Lions will have the football, ball at the 20-yard line. Marcus Brooks, who already has 4 touchdowns in this game.
He's been efficient, and he has complete command of this offense.
Brooks under center. Coleman in motion. Brooks back to pass. Feels the pressure, throws it, and it's going to be sailing into the end zone incomplete. And Alex Coleman is like looking at, like, where's the flag? It looked like he might have been held on that play, but.
Yeah, and it looks like not maybe held, but I also think he was looking at Marcus Brooks. Little miscommunication, and that's not something that you see a lot from these two, as this combination has been something that the Lions are used to attacking throughout the game.
Well, Alex Coleman does have 2 touchdown passes thrown by Marcus Brooks. 2 of the 4 touchdown passes. They've been on the same page the majority of the game. Deloach is now the man in motion. Brooks under center. Back to pass. A quick drop is caught by Deloach. He's past the sticks, and that's a first down for Columbus. Move those chains. That's what Ramon Deloach says. And now they're in Cyclone territory.
Quick throw, great pass, good catch, and an easy first down right there for Deloach and Brooks.
Ball is at the 18-yard line in Cyclone territory. Lions up 35-19.
And if you're the Lions, you're trying to extend the lead, obviously, to 20. But if you're the Cyclones, this is danger zone. Getting down by 20 points could be make an insurmountable comeback, especially when you've had a tough time slowing down this Lions attack.
Brooks back to pass. There's a flag on the play. It looks like maybe a 3 play. As they'll let him play on, it's incomplete, intended for Alex Coleman. But let's see what the head official, Dana Barker, is going to say what this penalty is. Multiple flags.
Multiple flags.
Illegal defense on Capital City. And after the play was over, personal foul on Capital City. And this is really going to have the Lions in great field position as you tack on another couple yards. I'm wondering where they're going to spot this football, because it's definitely not a 15-yard penalty. It's more like a half the distance to the goal situation, possibly. They're gonna keep walking. It is a half the distance to the goal, so they're gonna put the ball at the 7-yard line for Columbus. Thrift, Columbus is in good position to score again to make this a 3-score game. Marcus Brooks with 39 touchdown passes on
to go for number
the
40
season.
right now.
Going for 40. That would be huge. He's definitely a candidate to win MVP in the AIFA. Brooks under center. Looks like a man jumped. He's back to the line. Brooks back to pass. Steps up, throws. Right to Tramel Gooden. Touchdown, Columbus Lions. And you have it. 40 touchdown passes on the season for Marcus Brooks. His 5th of the game.
Tramel Gooden, excellent job, Richard, able to getting across, losing his defender, and just an easy pitch and catch. Lions now up by 22, and I think they're going to go for 2 to make it 24.
Going to make it a 23-point game if 24 points.
24. They're
24.
at 22 now.
Yeah.
A little math.
Yeah, my math is.
Richard.
My little math is off. Well, you're the school teacher. You probably know math better than.
Well, 1 + 1 is 2.
All right, they're going to go for 2. Marcus Brooks. The fake handoff.
What a play.
What a play. Right to the back of the end zone to Big Ken Washington for the 2-point try.
How about that fake sweep? And what I remember from this play, 2010, Auburn versus Alabama, they call it the Lutzenkirchen.
Yes.
Lutzenkirchen sneaked out of the backfield. He was an H-back tight end.
I do remember that.
Cam Newton went one way. Lutzenkirchen, the tight end, went the other way, wide open for a touchdown. You saw the same thing right there. Great play call, and the Lions, they're clicking on all cylinders.
They are
And
firing.
the Cyclones don't score right here, it could be pretty much over with.
Well, if anything, it was a very competitive first half.
Yeah.
Could be slipping away if, Capital City had the ball to start the second half. They had to score on that play. But the Lions have made the adjustments in the second half like they did last week. The Lions, their first 2 possessions were kickoff returns for touchdowns. And that's probably why that score was 80-8, because they did have 2 pick sixes in that game and 2 kickoff returns. So really not a whole lot of time off the clock.
2 offsetting penalties right there from Dana Barker.
I'll tell you, Dana Barker's really been the jack of all trades. I mean, he's a head ref in Alabama and Georgia high school football. he's a meteorologist. He's a PA announcer. I would not be shocked if he hosted his own podcast. I mean, he could do it all. .8:27 left to go here in the third quarter. 43-19 is your score. The Columbus Lions on top of the Capital City Cyclones. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here on the Columbus Lions YouTube page and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. We have had a very good game today here at the Civic Center. As Rice and Richardson kicking things off. And it's going to be a squib kick, and it's going to go into the end zone. Is no chance for Eric Dukes, the returner.
So if you're the Cyclones, you don't have your leading rusher, and one of the main reasons why you were in the game in the first half. So you're having to change your game plan. You're also down by 23, so running the football is probably not the best option for you. I think this is going to be a tough task for the Cyclones. I've been impressed with Luke Kennedy. He stayed in there. He's shown that he's a competitor, that he's going to give his all. Been proud of how hard these Cyclones have played so far in this game. But when you take away their number one option, which was Watson, I mean, it's just not helping them. And now, if you're the defensive line for the Lions, you're seeing this is a feeding frenzy. It's time to attack.
Well, the leading receiver for the Cyclones is Jaquel Watson with 4 receptions, 23 yards. Freeman Marcus had the 26-yard touchdown. But Kennedy has only completed 43% of his passes. He's 7 for 16 with a touchdown. Kennedy is under center. Got a man in motion. Kennedy, a quick pass, and it's intercepted. Philip Russell, 10-5, touchdown, pick 6 to the house. And now the Columbus Lions. Wait, there's a flag.
There is a flag.
There is a flag. I get a little ahead of myself. But Philip Russell, the DB from Auburn.
And
they're going to decline it. The pick 6 is going to count.
And that's going to be an easy interception for a touchdown. Great job by the defensive line. And what I just say, that it's going to be a feeding frenzy. They're going to make their presence known. And now that they know the Cyclones are going to try to pass almost every play, it's going to be hard. When you have that, where they can, trick you, if you will, and you got them on their heels, the Lions, you didn't know if they were going to run, you didn't know if they were going to pass, but now that you know that they're going to have to pass almost every play, this sets up doom for the Cyclones.
Well, and the defenders for the Lions could just sit back and just play zone and just wait for the ball to come to them, and that's exactly what Philip Russell did. The 5'9 DB from Auburn. So Columbus has got 2 defenders from Auburn on this team.
And just like that, the Lions are back up by 30. We did see single digits in the first half. We saw a tie game at the end of the first quarter.
Absolutely. There was actually a time where I thought Capital City was going to take the lead.
Cyclones are going to take a timeout.
But also, this is also Special Olympics night. We did have a pretty interesting halftime show with racing cars with ramps. You know, when I think of that, I think of that scene in the movie Napoleon Dynamite with
the RC car.
Where he's trying to do the bike with the ramp, and the ramp just collapses on itself. But that was actually pretty cool to have those racing cars try to go over the ramp and do some flips. They always try to keep it interesting here at the Columbus Civic Center with some halftime festivities. Of course, we had outstanding.
You know who would be awesome in the AIFA?
Oh, 2-point conversion try is good.
Look at big number 72, Kenny Carter. I mean, they're getting the big man involved in these 2-point conversions. Last time it was Ken Washington. This time it was Kenny Carter. But Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, remember, he could throw it over the mountains. I'm sure he would be an elite quarterback here in the American Indoor Football Alliance. Lions are up by 32, Richard, and now they're showing their dominance.
51-19. It's been all Columbus in this second half.
And this is what I like to call the boa constrictor. is what these elite dominant teams do. Once they get their grip on you, it's hard to get out of it. And then they just start suffocating you. And at this point, the Lions have just suffocated the life out of the Cyclones, and now they're down by 32 points.
Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here on the broadcast at the Columbus Civic Center, the Columbus Lions YouTube channel, and Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Go ahead and like that Facebook page. Share it with your friends. Share it with a coworker, family member.
Me and Richard will be broadcasting a lot of games, including these Columbus Lions.
And we're thinking about, there's an event tomorrow. I can't say what it is.
Yeah.
There's an event tomorrow that we're trying to broadcast. So I'm just.
And if you want to know about it, teaser, you might as well go ahead and like the page now
like
so you
the
can
page.
find out what it is.
Exactly. I can't say what it is because if it doesn't fall through, then oh well. And there's a kickoff. And that is sailing into the end zone, and no chance.
Richardson's trying to get that extra point.
Yeah,
it's
no chance for
extra
Durante
point.
Davis. So yes, Capital City does play South Florida next week. I'm wondering if that is going to be the de facto semifinal game, because if Capital City has a winning record, will they play Columbus in the championship? Because Columbus actually has a double bye. So it's set up to whoever.
So the Lions, they won't be playing for the next 2 weeks.
For the next 2 weeks, that's correct.
We won't see them July 15th.
July 15th will be the championship game right here at the Columbus Civic Center. And we don't know who the opponent's going to be. But Capital City finds themselves in a big hole, down 51-19 with 7:27 here left to go in the third quarter. And we got a timeout. So, you know, Luke Kennedy, he hasn't really played all that bad. I mean, he has a touchdown pass. He's 7 for 16. But is really the running game for Capital City, and Takarius Watson not playing in the second half. He had 5 attempts for 77 yards, including a 45-yard touchdown.
And that's been one of the main reasons why the Cyclones are now down by 32 points. But Coach McKinney, on his birthday, he's had some stuff up his sleeves. You see some trick plays. You see some zippity doodahs, as Vern Lundquist used to say when he was calling SEC football on CBS. And the band in the building.
Big shout out to Kendrick.
Tell you what, me and DJ were talking about this on the Sports Vision radio show. The band and cheerleaders make for good atmosphere.
And there's a pass by Kennedy. It's incomplete. That was intended to Freeman Marcus, who does have the 1 touchdown reception in the first half. It was a 26-yard strike from Kennedy to Marcus. Like you mentioned, Sports Vision's radio show from 4 to 6. Smooth R&B 92.1, the Sports Vision's Facebook page. Thrift Behringer, DJ Jones, Mondays and Thursdays. I always look forward to listening to you guys.
And we always talk about these Columbus Lions in our first 10, 20-minute segments that we have with Jack Patterson, Tyler Revin from WRBL.
Great lineup.
And we'll have another game we're going to talk about. It looks like the Lions are going to be heading to 6-0 into that championship game.
As Kennedy under center, and the handoff is, and he loses a football. I'm trying to get it back. It looks like Matthew Wells with a loss on the play, and he'll bring up third down. Boy, that run play just wasn't going anywhere. In fact, there was a loss on the play, and Columbus has really been swarming the running back in the backfield. Ja'Cory Watson's not in there, and I don't think Capital City has an option at running back if Watson's not in there.
I'm with you. And right there, Luke Kennedy had his foot stepped on by his own offensive lineman, because at this point, the defensive line, they know, and they got their ears pinned back. They know what's happening. They know the play call. They basically know that Luke Kennedy is going to drop back trying to pass here. And that sets up the offensive line. They got the scatter feet.
And we're going to get another timeout. Thrift, I want to take it back to Sports Visions, because a couple of weeks ago, as you guys were honoring the Georgia High School Sports Hall of Fame members, I got excited because you had Guy McIntyre on the show. And you know I'm a lifelong San Francisco 49ers fan. He was the catalyst on that offensive line that protected Joe Montana in those 4 Super Bowls. Guy McIntyre, Jesse Sapolo, Harris Barton. That offensive line was incredible. Steve Wallace.
And by the way, we've had Steve Wallace on and Guy McIntyre. A lot of these guys DJ played with, DJ Jones. So. All-American at Georgia, won a national championship, played in a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, my co-host and the creator of Sports Visions. We always have a lot of fun, and offensive line has been one of the main reasons these Lions are so incredible on offense. They don't get a lot of notoriety, but they've been
Kennedy rolling to his right.
Great.
And that was caught by Eric Dukes, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. And it's close. It's going to be, and it's going to be a roughing the passer call in Columbus. You hate to see that because now you've given Capital City a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, but when you're up by 32, those mistakes, they don't add up. They add up when you're up by maybe 15, 16, around that range or lower. But when you're up by 32, it's okay. You make it every now and then. But that will set up the Cyclones in Lions territory, and they're only about 13 yards away from scoring their 3rd touchdown of the game.
And it looks like if Capital City scores here, that will be the most points scored on the Lions defense this year. Kennedy back to pass, feeling the pressure to the end zone. Touchdown, Capital City. Freeman Marcus, his 2nd touchdown reception. Kennedy's 2nd touchdown pass. And we do have a penalty on Columbus, but it will be declined.
And you have to correct you. 56 points was scored in that first game, so that was the most.
You know what?
But
that was such a long time ago.
Yeah, right. No, Richard, and the thing is, when I called 2 weeks ago, I said the same thing. I was like, well, the team I was calling, the Lions, who they played against, we can pull up that schedule real quick. Against the Dallas Falcons, I said 20 points. That's the most that's scored against them, but then I completely forgot about the 56 number put on by the South
that was
Florida
that opener, and
Thunder.
it was jitters from both teams,
right.
And they had a huge lead, and South Florida came back, and a lot of people just didn't know what to expect from the Lions coming into a new league, a new coach, a new philosophy, new system.
Oh, my goodness.
And the 2-point conversion try is no good. And who else but DeAndre Brown?
DeAndre Brown timed that perfectly, but I'm wondering if it was almost, yep.
Yeah, it's going to call offsides on Columbus.
He tried to time it perfectly, but the referees say, no, it was a little bit early.
Of course, DeAndre Brown was on the team last year that went 5-3 in the NAL and lost to Carolina in the semifinals. I mean, a pretty good team in a league, and now they're down in the AIFA, and they're just dominating just about everybody in this league.
Talking with the Lions administration, I know the ultimate goal is to get back and being able to be at the NAL league where they played so far, but right now they're okay dominating the American Indoor Football Alliance.
Kennedy, the handoff, it's going nowhere. Stopped in the backfield is Matthew Wells. And who else, Thrift? DeAndre Brown on the play.
Some more extracurricular activities, and you don't want this to get out of hand.
No, you don't.
They've been pushing and shoving all game, but when it starts getting to the point where it's a blowout, some people don't care and will make some silly mistakes.
Little chippy out there, but 4:18 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Columbus Lions lead the Capital City Cyclones 51-25. Same color, same mascot, so. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here at the Columbus Civic Center. This is the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Be sure to like the Facebook page, share it with a friend, family member, co-worker. As this is the debut this is the first live sporting event on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We're hoping to have many, many more sporting events.
And shout out to Lee Snow and the owners here for the Lions allowing us to go live. We're also live on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel. 4:18 remaining, 26-point lead for the Lions.
And I got to say a big shout out to Toygar, our producer, and Nick, our statistician. And then your brother here as well, Thrift, working the camera for our Facebook page. Big shout out to, I could say your name? Tucker Berger? Okay. Kickoff. And that is right to Demisio Ewing. He's at the 5. He goes to the 10. A spin with stutter step. 20. He's at the 25. Flag on the play. Still on his feet. In Cyclone territory. He will not be denied. He's having a hard time coming down. Multiple flags fly, but what a run back by Demisio Ewing.
And there we go. And we got more flags. The referee didn't have any more flags. He threw his hat. At this point, if you're Coach McKinney, if you're the Lions, don't engage with the Cyclones, because who's got more to lose? The Lions players who play in the championship in their next game,
exactly,
or the Cyclones?
You don't want to have anybody ejected and they end up missing the first half of the championship game. I mean, let's get everybody healthy. Let's make sure that we're making good decisions, because we got 2 weeks to prepare for a championship game that will take place here at the Columbus Civic Center July the 15th, and we do not know the opponent yet. Could be Capital City, could be the Mississippi Raiders, could be the South Florida Thunder. We're not sure. Could be the Dallas Falcons. You know, we've only played, this is the 4th team in the AIFA. Columbus has played 2 teams in another league. They played the Peach State Cats, which were in the Elite Indoor Football League, and then the Southern Steam, who were also in the Elite.
I'm going to be honest, Richard, I heard that you were saying the Peach State Cats had a lot of momentum coming in next week. You were one of those that thought they may win. No, I'm not even going to do that to you, Richard.
No, that was the Dallas Falcons. Remember, we were talking about that. Looks like those penalties, all the penalties offset. And we're trying to see if those penalties will cancel each other out. So, Thrift, let's talk about the 2 jerseys that are hanging up on the rafters. Justin Rivers, he was a talented offensive line, and then Damian, the Nighthawk Daniel. There were talks that maybe he might suit up again for the Columbus Lions, possibly? I don't know.
DJ was trying to get him out of retirement. We were talking on the Sports Visions radio show, but I think he's happy coaching and where he's at.
He's at Carver
Tigers.
Yep. And plus, his son plays basketball for Brookstone.
Yep. Hit the game winner that we called.
Yeah.
We forgot we did that in that first-round matchup, which was a really good, excellent game. We were live as a part of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. He had a game-winning shot. Daniel's son did. Jordan Daniels.
I do remember that. And I do remember that Damian Daniels did get a pick 6 last year. He played in a couple of games, came out of retirement. He was the defensive coordinator for the Lions last year. 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Marcus Brooks under center with Columbus up 51-25 against Iowa City, or Capital City, and passes to Deloach, and he gets the first down. That big body making the catch and then turning up the field. Yards after catch to move the sticks for Columbus.
Columbus just trying to answer the Cyclones, keep them within reasonable distance, keep it out of question, which right now at 26 points could make it to 33. I expect that to continue.
3:19 to go, ball on the 17-yard line for Columbus. Marcus Brooks with 5 touchdown passes in this game. Brooks, the handoff is to Bracken Smith. And there's a flag on the play. He does get a couple of yards moving to the left side.
I love it when the big man gets a touch.
And really, I love the fact that he's actually getting the ball because, you know, interchanneling is Ian Johnson. Like we talked about in the beginning of the game.
You mentioned him twice now.
I did.
That Boise State team one of your favorite teams?
Yeah, the lateral, the hook and ladder, the Statue of Liberty play.
You're a Zabransky fan? Jared Zabransky,
Jared
the quarterback.
Zabransky, Doug Martin, great running back.
That 2004 Utah team set the standard for the first non-Power 5 team to make it to a BCS bowl game, or New Year's
Led by Alex
New
Smith.
Year's 6 now. And then after that in 2006, it was Boise State, and then we had Hawaii, then TCU, and now UCF.
Incredible. Brooks back to pass. He's got time. Rolls to his right, throws, and it's caught by Deloach. Oh, it's bobbled. They're going to rule it incomplete.
He didn't make he didn't make a football play right there.
That looked like it was a catch, and he made a football move, and then it popped out. But it won't count because they'll be holding on Columbus. And have an injured Cyclone, and you hate to see that. Getting carried off by his teammates. That is number 44, Ty Lee Austin.
And I think I see Watson down there. He's got ice on both his shoulders. So obviously he's not going to be coming back into this game. And I wonder what happened right there. That was a huge blow for these Cyclones, and it definitely changed the trajectory of this game.
Be a 1st and 15. Ball is at the 11-yard line for Columbus. Up 51-25. Brooks under center. There's Alex Coleman, and Brooks is going to get taken down for the sack. There was no receivers open, and Ellis Smith, this is the first time that Marcus Brooks has been sacked in the game, and Ellis Smith with a big sack.
Ellis Smith, he's been a dancing fiend all game long. That was a reason to dance.
Well, if Capital City wants to try to get back into this game, this is the stop they need, and they need to get good field position because time is not on their side, but it's still possible, but they would have to get multiple stops, possibly a turnover, make Columbus punt it, or not punt it, but attempt the field goal. It's going to be a 2nd down at about 24 for Marcus Brooks and the Lions offense as he calls a timeout. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here for the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the Facebook page. And Thrift Behringer making his debut for the live streams on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. And Thrift, we've had the privilege of calling games for almost a year now. I mean, it's a lot of high school games, high school basketball and baseball. But the best is yet to come. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well, and I'm excited about these Lions going 6-0.
51-25, they are leading Capital City. Capital City out of Tallahassee, Florida. They are a travel team in the AIFA. All right, it's 2nd and 24. Brooks back to pass, throws, caught by Deloach. Deloach still on his feet. He's a hard man to get down. He is right at the sticks. And the Lions get all that yardage back, and Roman Deloach, great possession receiver, gets close to a 1st down. But it's coming back.
Because it was a holding penalty in the end zone, that's going to be a safety on the Lions.
It's 1 point. But Capital City will get the ball.
I think they gave him 2 points right there.
They do, okay. Well, I guess they'll try to fix the scoreboard.
I think the Lions, they've had a lot of penalties in this game. They've been
really
dominant, and they've had more talent. But against a team that's, equal with their talent, they got to clean up this sloppiness. I know Coach McKinney, he is very frustrated right now. You can see him talking in the microphone. Lions are up by 24, but Cyclones score again right here. It's only a 17-point game.
And anything can happen in indoor football. The Cyclones can get a turnover, and then this is where they could get a situation where they're starting to just attempting onside kicks. Well, Columbus was in a situation like this in their first game against South Florida. They were up big, and South Florida was able to come back and make it close. All right, Lions will kick it off. Back in the end zone is Durante Davis for the Cyclones. I got to tell you, Thrift, I've said the Capital City Cyclones, I've mistaken them for Iowa City at least 3 times because they have the same colors. And so we're so used to watching college football.
Well, Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State. Did I say Iowa City? Yeah,
you said Iowa
State.
City. You didn't even get the right college name.
Yeah,
right
Iowa
there,
City is actually where Iowa
is. You made
is.
up college.
I made up a college. Richardson, squib kick. And that is going to be right in the end zone. It's going to be taken out by Capital City. Good distance and all the way to the 25-yard line in Lions territory.
Carrying some Lions
Durante
right there.
Davis.
Wow.
That was a great return by William Kelly, actually. He's wearing number 6. And that's the momentum you want if you're Capital City to try to get back into this game. But you're right, Thrift. The college is called Iowa State, but I actually called them Iowa City. So it's a habit. You're thinking of Capital City, but when you look at those colors, you think of the college Iowa State. Oh, a big shout out to former Columbus Lions quarterback Daniel Smith, now playing for the Iowa Barnstormers. He was the quarterback last year along with Mason Espinoza, Darren Daniel. Bennett back to throw, and it's intercepted.
What a play.
Darren Daniels with a pick. The former quarterback from last year went to Stanford, went to Alabama State.
He graduated from Central, was an All-American
Central,
there.
Yes.
Darren Daniels showing that he still has it in him. He was also a basketball player for Columbus State, so he played football at Stanford, played basketball at Columbus State, was all-world at Central, and just got an interception right there. And there negates any momentum the Cyclones had.
It truly
the
does.
Lions will be in Cyclone territory and trying to score another touchdown right before the end of this third quarter.
49 seconds left to go, 51-27. It's been all Columbus here in the second half. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here on the broadcast on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page as we are live streaming this game on Facebook. And looks like the coach is telling his player to
get off the field.
Get off the field.
In a not-so-nice way.
Brooks back to pass. And it's incomplete. It was deflected. A good deflection by Andre Taylor, number 1. It'll bring up second down with 12 seconds left to go.
Great play by Andre Taylor. Time running out, and I think McKinney and Brooks, I think they're going to take this to the fourth quarter.
And it looks like putting 4 up. We have played 3 so far here at the Columbus Civic Center. The Columbus Lions lead the Capital City Cyclones 51-27. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be back.
Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge here, live on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. The Lions got out to a hot start in that third quarter. They got up by 30 points. Cyclones did answer back. They even got a safety because of a holding call. They got the ball back after the safety, and then an easy turnover for the Lions. And now the Lions are trying to go back up by 30 again, trying to score another touchdown. Fourth quarter, very competitive game. And you're saying competitive, they're up by 24. Well, when you watch, look at the Lions.
Another penalty on Capital City.
Another ejection. So I'm wondering what's happening right now. The coach didn't leave the arena when he got ejected, and he's up there still yelling.
Thrift, is that a situation? You remember that baseball game where Bobby Valentine, he put on a disguise?
Yeah,
and
but that was
like,
incognito. This guy's not being incognito. Bobby came back out, another penalty.
They're like, what? Delay game on the defense? What? They got their hands up, like, confused.
And if you can't see, if we're going to try to zoom in right now, he's right behind the bench. My man is still not leaving. And Dana Barker says, I'll throw 20 flags on you if you don't get out of this arena. And he says he's still not leaving.
Wow.
So now we just got a delay going. And he finally says,
I see where he's at. He's up on the second level.
I'm out of here. And we've had a little bit of everything in this game.
We really have.
And we've had a lot of fun, and we appreciate you tuning in.
It started off with a proposal.
So now we'll finally start the fourth quarter. The Lions initially were going to start at the Cyclones 20 because of 2 penalties, delay of games. Now it's first and goal. Brooks under center. Man in motion is Coleman. Hand off to Bracken Smith. The big man rumbling and tumbling, still on his feet. They finally blow it dead, and he will stop right there at the 2-yard line.
Thrift, I really want to see Bracken Smith get a touchdown, because how fitting would that be? Getting a proposal and a touchdown in the same game? Then I could say an Ian Johnson reference finally. I've been wanting to use that Ian Johnson reference all game.
Richard will have something stuck back in his head, and he's going to get it out. Once he has the opportunity to get that little nugget out, it's going to come out at least 5 times during the broadcast. But I love him. Man in motion. Brooks under center. Another handoff. And there goes Bracken Smith. Right around, right in. And you finally get your wish. A touchdown for Mr. Bracken Smith and a dance.
And it kind of was the same play on that Statue of Liberty in that Boise State, Oklahoma game. Just the opposite side of the field.
And that was a 2-point conversion, by the way.
That was, yes.
Game winner.
Game winner. But I remember the announcer saying, the lateral.
Tom Brenneman?
Yes.
And we all know about Tom Brenneman's career after he said the racist remarks. He's no longer calling games, and is someone that you don't want to emulate because he's one of those that you got to be careful.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. But still one of the greatest college football games ever, Boise State, Oklahoma.
Another one to Bracken. This time he makes a cut into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
That was a little confusing because, it looked like the player for Capital City in the backfield, and I thought that Marcus Brooks got taken down. Joseph Jones was in the backfield quick. We do have an injured player for Capital City.
We do have an injured player.
I'll tell you, it's great to see the mascot here. We got a new mascot.
But
the Kendrick Band is here.
You, just as much as me, Richard, we wanted to see Bracken Smith after getting the proposal to get a touchdown, and he was not going to be denied on that one. And he not only gets a touchdown, he gets a 2-point conversion as well. It's 59-27 Lions with 13:03 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
I'll tell you what, Thrift, it is great just to see these fans dancing. They really put on a show here. Mike Kelly does a great job as the DJ. Aiden is the public address announcer. Xavier Soler with the in-game host. Just a shout out to the Columbus Lions organization, a class act. Lee Snow, the general manager. Casey Smith, Richard Masula, the owners.
And shout out to Leo the Lion, who's having fun doing the Soldier Boy with the Superman.
And they did change the mascot. It was a different lion last season.
They retired that one?
They did. They retired that one. Really? Yeah, they did. But Leo the Lion is, he's got a different hairstyle.
Cyclones player does get back up. Looks like he's
that's good.
A little bit gimpy, but hopefully he's okay.
He's walking on his own power. That's a good sign. Well, these Columbus Lions players are happy. They're high-fiving fans. I mean, this is really the Columbus Lions team we like to see. Firing on all cylinders, so much confidence going into that championship game July the 15th. They got 2 weeks to prepare for it. I mean, really, they've already clinched.
And Bracken actually goes, he's up in the stands right now, and he's sitting with all his friends. And
why not? He deserves it.
Everybody's just having a good time, and to be honest, even the Cyclones are dancing. It's all about having fun, and at this point when it's 59-27, there's no point in getting angry and doing anything silly.
An entertaining Friday night here at the Columbus Civic Center.
Nice return and a leg right there for number 12. Demisio Ewing is just laying the law down, and now we got some extracurricular activities as William Kelly for the Cyclones didn't like getting hit right there. And now we're still talking trash. Now they're saying now each one of them are saying they're too small for each other.
No, I mean, that's just a football play. I mean, Demisio Ewing, I know he shot out like a cannon, but he's just trying to make a play.
Cyclones are going to start at their own 21-yard line. Was a decent return right there for Kelly. Kennedy under center. Trots back, pump fakes. Man crossing the middle, but overthrows Eric Dukes. It's gonna set up second down and 10. Guy was open right there, but
he was.
I'm thinking that Kennedy now got that scatter feet, that I want to get it out quick, I don't want to get hit, which is understandable. You get hit by those big defensive linemen, I would do the same thing. And that throw was just not even close.
He rushed the throw. He was feeling the pressure. If he would have just dropped it in there in the breadbasket, I think Eric Dukes would have gone to the house for an easy touchdown.
I think he would still be running, right. Freeman Marcus takes off. Kennedy looking for him, throws it over the middle, misses him completely. He was open, but it looks like we're going to have a late hit, I think. Here's Dana Barker. DeAndre Brown, and now we got some mad Cyclones players, and now
I didn't really see any blue jerseys near the Cyclones players. Were they getting in a fight with each other?
I mean, Ellis Smith is being told to calm down. He obviously was trying to protect this quarterback. He thought that was a cheap shot by Brown, but be smart right there. But a good job by Dana Barker and the referees. They haven't allowed this game to get too out of hand, as there's been a lot of extracurricular activities throughout this game. It's going to set up 3rd down and long now. Kennedy's missed 2 open guys. That time was Freeman Marcus. Kennedy. This time he does hit, and a great pitch and catch from Kennedy to Marcus. Marcus gets the 1st down, keeps the chains moving, and it gets them in Lions territory down at the 14-yard line.
That was a good play, Freeman Marcus getting the catch. A good tackle by Kyle Griswold. And, you know, Capital City they just trying to make it respectable right now. I mean, they know they're down big with 11 minutes left to go.
Another penalty.
We've seen 3 of those so far, Thrift. Delay of game penalties are really...
Kennedy tried to call a timeout right there. They use all 3 of their timeouts, so that's going to be a delay of game. Tell you what, these referees got their work cut out for them today, as they probably have close to over 40 penalties they've had to call between both teams.
Kennedy 9 of 21 with 2 touchdown passes. Capital City has not been the same.
So Kennedy is coming out. It looks like he injured his hand right there. So now number 6, William Kelly, will come in as the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Thrift, they have not been the same since Decarius Watson left the game.
It's been a completely different game.
Different team.
He doesn't even have his pads on right now, Watson, since coming out of halftime. Now Kelly's in the shotgun. Takes a snap over his head, and that's going to be an easy pickup, scoop, and score for Raymond DeLoach, and the Lions make it point number 65, and now we got, looked like a late hit on William Kelly.
Raymond DeLoach, easy.
And at this
scoop
point,
and
you're going to have to
score.
start ejecting some players, because the Cyclones players are obviously, they don't think they have anything to lose, and they're trying to square up. And if you're the Lions, you have a championship game to play, and the last thing you want is a bench-clearing brawl. But a great scoop and score right there, Raymond DeLoach. I mean, he literally bounced right to him. Bad snap.
Well, here's a term that I hear a lot of announcers say, the Johnny on the spot play.
So we're going to see right now.
DeLoach. Yeah, let's see what this penalty is going to be.
Andre Taylor, though, is still having fun for the Cyclones. See him down there with great spirits. Here's the penalty. So offsetting unsportsmanlike penalties.
So with all these unsportsmanlike penalties, wondering when do players start getting ejected? If they keep track, if it's their second penalty, or because we've had a lot of penalties so far. I mean, we've got a stat right here. I mean, you got a total of 40 penalties combined between the two teams.
Columbus Lions going to go for 2 here. Brooks trying to make it a 40-point game. Man in motion, tall sweep. And an easy 2-point conversion right there for Tremel Gooden. And that's going to extend the lead to 67-27. All Lions, and we're going to take a quick break. Thrift Barringer, Richard Holdridge, live here on the Columbus Lions YouTube channel and Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. Welcome back to the broadcast. Rip Aaron to Richard Holdridge. Kickoff underway. And that one's going to go through the end zone, and it's going to set up decent field position for the Cyclones. Lions are up by 40, and right now, let's just get out of this game with some clean fun and make sure no one gets ejected, nobody gets hurt. We've already seen not one, but two different Cyclones coaches get ejected. One was early in the first quarter, and this past one got ejected in the third. He didn't even want to leave. And finally, Dana Barker threw enough penalties on Cyclone, saying if he doesn't leave, I'm going to keep throwing delay of game on you. Finally got out of the arena.
I've never seen that before in indoor football. But, well, this American Indoor Football Alliance, this league started in 2021. The defending champions are the Mississippi Raiders. I mean, this is really a startup league. I mean, most of these teams are travel teams. You have a team called the Vegas Keens that we're never going to see because they're on the other side of the country. But, you know, it's really, sometimes it takes momentum to build up a league.
Kennedy is not in the game right now. Handoff. It's going to get maybe one or two. Right now into the game for the Cyclones is number 14, Eric Dukes. As I think Mr. Kelly's all but done for today after getting into a scuffle right there. Kennedy looks like he's done with his hand. And I think the Cyclones are just trying to get out of here with all the bumps and bruises they've accumulated over this game. There goes Dukes around right end, and an easy tackle right there. Waiting on him was number 16, DeCoven Ware. It's going to set up now 3rd down and long.
But I like the speed by Eric Dukes. He could just roll to the right and just try to get open lanes. I mean, I'd like to see that. You know, you see these quarterbacks that like to run first.
Marcus Brooks, he's 10 of 16 with 6 touchdown passes on the day for 173 yards. Leading receiver has been Alex Coleman with 2 touchdowns and 64 yards. Tremel Gooden's also got 2 touchdowns.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Thrift, I've not seen Jarmon Fortson in this game. That might be a question that we ask later in the week if there's anything that's going on.
And these Lions are showing they are the true definition of professional indoor football organization. They're well run. They got elite talent. And I'm going to be honest, I know they're dominating the American Indoor Football Alliance, but I put them up against almost any team. That includes the National Arena League.
Absolutely. I'd put them up against the Jacksonville Sharks.
Yes.
I'd put them up against the Carolina Cobras. What's that?
Are you making a dig right now for the Jacksonville Sharks?
I'm not making a dig.
Richard Holdridge, Thrift Behringer on the call. Dukes set to take the snap from shotgun. Deloach, Dukes holds it, gets pounded into the wall from Philip Russell, and that's going to make 4th down now.
And Philip Russell wearing number 21 from a former Columbus Lion, Darian Townsend, who wore number 21 last year. And he only played 1 season for the Lions, but he had a huge impact last year.
All right, 4th down right here. Lions trying to not give up 30 points. They did give up 56 in that first game, but if that team plays the Lions now, after getting a few games under their belt, I don't think they score 50 points on them.
Absolutely.
I think like you were talking about it, first
they
game
have
jitters.
made the adjustments.
Right.
They have really found ways to stop teams.
Dukes waves the man in motion. Dukes shuffling. He's got to throw it for grabs. Intercepted! What a play and what a catch right there by James Gray. But honestly, if you're Dukes, you don't want to turn over on downs because you're giving Lions in your territory.
It's like a punt.
That's like a punt almost.
But there's no punts in the AI thing, so. But Columbus does get it back with 5:50 left to go. And they are up by 40, Thrift. And a big shout out to Aiden, our public address announcer, who really does a great job firing up the crowd. This is his second season with the Columbus Lions.
And nobody's left their seats this entire game. Usually by the fourth quarter when it's 8-8, some people start trickling out, but they stay for the full game. It's been a great event today. Brooks under center, trying to get past 70 points for the first time since last week. And there's going to be the first sack of the game. Second sack, excuse me. Oscar Scott, number 11, with the sack.
Great Scott. He came in with a big sack. Oscar Scott.
Right now, number 9, Ellis Smith. He's having a tough time. And as I said, maybe he should just sit out for the rest of this game because you don't want to get ejected. And you don't want no silly penalties right now.
Well, the clock is just continuing to tick away. I mean, this is the point of the game where they just let the clock run.
When you're up by 40, there's no reason to stop it. I think we're all in agreement. Referees, fans, players, coaches. Brooks. Sets. Not able to get it off, and another sack right there for the Capital City Cyclones. Enrique Crumbs, third sack, back-to-back sacks for the Cyclones. That's going to set up 3rd and a mile now for the Lions.
You know, it just keeps the clock continuing to run, and Columbus just wants to try to get out of here, just trying to just get out of here without any injuries, without any players getting ejected or anything. To just Capital City, you got to give them credit. They're not quitting in this game. I mean, they're down 40, but you know they're just going to continue to fight until the end of this game.
Lions are going to take a timeout. We're going to take a quick timeout with 3:56 remaining. Lions lead by 40. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge on the call. We'll be right back after this. And we're back here on the broadcast. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge on the call. Lions at their own goal line, 3rd and about 30. And look at that. Coming out of the backfield is a big man, Ken Washington, and he's going to make it now 4th and manageable.
Yeah, that was a good
nice
play.
Little trick play right there.
That was just a dump
McKinney.
pass to Ken Washington, open in the flat, and was able to get all that yardage back. And now the clock continues to wind, and Columbus picks up this 4th down conversion. They can start running more clock and try to get out of here with, you know, less injuries and like hopefully preparing for that championship game in 2 weeks. Got the 2-week bye. That is very impressive. 2 weeks to prepare for that championship. I love
Marcus
it.
Brooks, 4th and 5. Waits. Throws a beamer. And just not on time right there. And guess what? Ellis Smith gets into it again with
More
another
chippiness.
Lions player.
But it is a turnover on downs, and Capital City will get it back.
Just miscommunication, Richard,
It
from
was.
Brooks and the receiver. Slaughter was running down wide open, but not Brooks' best throw, and he'll admit that. So 3 minutes left. Cyclones are going to get it back in Lions territory, down by 40.
Well, Brooks would tell you, because I interviewed him last week. He had a great game last week, but he was more concerned about the throws he missed. And that's the type of competitor that Brooks is. You know, he is a veteran in the indoor league. I know this is his first season with the Columbus Lions, but he's already a candidate for MVP in the AIFA with 40 touchdowns, having a great season. And it seems like when you think of Columbus Lions quarterbacks, you think of Darren Daniel, Mason Espinoza, Danny Southwick, Daniel Smith. And Marcus Brooks. You know, you can add him to the list of great quarterbacks who played for this incredible organization.
I agree. Eric Dukes behind center. Last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this one. Dukes throws it across the middle, and a nice hit right there by the secondary defender.
Darrell Green, what a hit.
Lay on the boom on Freeman Marcus. He heard footsteps.
Yeah, it just popped out of his hands because the hit was, Darrell Green timed that hit perfectly.
Yeah.
And the clock's continuing to run, and it was an incomplete pass.
And Kyle Griswold.
He had multiple defenders on that play, but now we're at the less than 2 minute mark here in the fourth quarter.
Dukes takes the snap, throws it up again. That's going to be intercepted by Kyle Griswold. Griswold taking it down the sideline, and Ellis Smith is telling someone he's too small. Excuse me, that wasn't Ellis Smith. That was Joseph Jones. But a good interception by Kyle Griswold that adds his second of the game, that adds to his team leading interceptions
and
on the season.
6 interceptions as a team for the Columbus Lions.
And if you're the Lions right here, I would just go ahead and kneel it. There's no point trying to score again, other than you're just tired of the Cyclones running their mouth so much.
And we've seen 2 defensive touchdowns by the Columbus Lions, a pick 6 by Philip Russell, and then a scoop and score by Roman Deloach. It's always great to see the defense able to score points as well. But Columbus, in all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, firing on all cylinders. That's the confidence and momentum that you need going into the championship game in 2 weeks.
Over the middle, caught. Is he going to be able to get in? No, they're going to say he's down, so they are going to try to score a touchdown, it looks like right here. Great catch by Gooden.
We've hit the 1 minute warning. Yeah, Tremel Gooden's had a pretty good game for Columbus. That's his 4th reception. I believe that does lead the team.
So 1 minute warning here in the fourth quarter. Had a lot of fun. Appreciate Toygar, Statistician Nick, Thrift Behringer here. Make sure to listen to me on Sports Visions with DJ Jones Monday. We're going to talk about these Lions game. We've been talking about them for the last several weeks. They've been the talk of the city, and they are going to head to 6-0, it looks like. Actually, it's pretty much for certain, unless we see the greatest comeback in the history of sports. Brooks hands it off to Coleman. Coleman runs over a man.
Did he get
into the end zone
yes,
for a touchdown. And that will be the nail in the coffin. And the Lions scored over 70 points in consecutive weeks. And they just add to their dominance.
And I hope you got Alex Coleman on your fantasy team, because he got 2 receiving touchdowns and a touchdown run.
So you're starting a American Indoor Football Lions
we should,
Fantasy
I know.
League.
No, but it's always great when you can get a combination of touchdowns, touchdown rush, touchdown reception.
I love the play calls by McKinney. I love that he gets everyone involved. All his playmakers get touches. There is nobody that's unhappy, like, well, throw me the ball more, throw me the ball, let me have the ball more. Everyone's getting equal amount of touches. Everyone is contributing to this game. And we're going to have a 2-point conversion, tall sweep. Gooden's going around in, and this time, is he going to be stopped? He does go past the goal line.
Why
and
not?
That's going to make it 75-27. And this should be the last possession of the game. Again, I want to say thank you to Lee Snow, Richard
Masala. Masala, yep,
Richard,
the owner.
I apologize. We're going to get your last name correct. Richard, you have no excuse. You've been here for a lot longer than me.
Oh, yeah, but he's a brand new, like he was introduced as the owner last week.
And shout out to Casey Smith and their support. We love calling these Lions games. Lions about to head to 6-0.
All right, so I actually pulled it up. Mazzella. That looks like it's pronounced Mazzella.
Mazzelia?
Mazzelia. There you go.
I promise you, we'll get that corrected. By the way, we will have a post-game show on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. We'll be interviewing the coaches and the players, so make sure to go to that if you want to keep up with all Lions.
Well, 49 seconds left to go. Rice and Richardson is going to have to kick it off. And Capital City will have another.
If I was trying to be funny, I said nail and coffin. But you know what? I don't even want to make that joke. And talking about the submarine that happened, the submersible that was missing, and they were shut in there pretty tight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really took the whole country by storm.
It did.
It's not the first time something like this has happened, but it's crazy how things gain traction like that.
Absolutely.
And it was one of the most talked about things going around not only the nation, but the world as well.
Well, I mean, because it's something that's never really happened before. You're thinking this is an excursion, and it turns into a tragedy.
Dukes, the backup quarterback, makes a move, gets the half. Midway point.
Well, I like Dukes. You could tell he's an athlete. Even when he's at quarterback, he likes to roll to his right. He's got some speed. He's got some juke moves. And he's also a playmaker. You know, I really think this Capital City Cyclones team, they competed with the Lions in that first half. But DeCarens Watson leaving the game was a huge blow to the Cyclones, and it was the difference in this game.
I agree. When you have a tank like that had 70 yards rushing, which is a lot for a game, but had it in the first half, and then you just say, well, this is no longer going to be a part of the game plan anymore in the second half.
Exactly.
That messes up a lot. Dukes is going to come in. 30 seconds left. I would assume at least 1 to 2 plays here.
It's like the equivalent of taking away your best offensive player on like your favorite NFL team. You know, the playbook is cut in half, and you really don't know what to do. And the Lions, they capitalized.
Dukes. Bracken Smith looked like he got held right there. Dukes goes around the right end, almost a late hit. And that should run out the clock and be the final play of the game.
I got to tell you, if that was an unintended pun, the Lions capitalized on Capital Cities. Yeah, that was a...
When you have to say it, Richard, it makes the pun worse.
It did.
Should have just let it roll off the tongue.
It just made the pun worse.
Should have just let it go. And that's going to do it. The Columbus Lions win 75-27. Marcus Brooks was efficient as always. He was 10 of 16 with 16 touchdowns. You also had Bracken Smith, the offensive lineman who proposed at the beginning of the game before the game started. He had a rushing touchdown. Defensive line were dominant, but I will say I was very surprised and a great showing by the Cyclones. They competed in the first half. It was tied after the first quarter. They kept it competitive. They just don't have enough firepower, just like anyone in this league, to keep up with the Lions. And I'm going to say this now, and I don't think I'm going out on a limb. This Lions team can go to any league and compete with anybody. And if you don't think so, I don't know what football you're watching, because these are elite Division I, high-level college football players are now playing professional. They can play anywhere. Great job by the Lions, and they're going to be heading to the championship game undefeated 6-0.
What a regular season for the Columbus Lions, 6-0. July the 15th, back here at the Columbus Civic Center for the championship game, trying to win their 4th championship in franchise history.
Thank you from Richard Holdridge. Shout out to Toy Gar, our producer, Nick, the statistician, Tucker Behringer, who was on the camera for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Thank y'all for tuning in. We hope you had a lot of fun. We'll see you July 15th for the championship game. We're going to do post-game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page. From Tucker Behringer, Richard Holdridge, signing off. Go Lions.